Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. Just got off the phone with the Unstoppable Foundation. I'm feeling good, helping out people around the world the best that I can to empower them to be happy. And I ask you to do the same. Please join me. If you want any exercises, guides, my books for free. Hi, Mia Meltzer. My daughter is here. What an honor. Good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Mia. Two of my favorite daughters right there. Here we go. Pin a comment. But you can go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Join me in Empowering the World in Unconscious Competency of Happiness, a collective consciousness of happiness. And we're going to teach on Friday, we're going to teach the blend, I call it. The blend between persistence and patience, between having grit and allowing things to happen. The biggest conflict that people have with how do I detach my emotions from an outcome but still have an outcome that I want or better than I want. We're going to talk about that on Friday. Join me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you have not joined my text community, this number's been pinned down there forever. I used to have it on a green screen, but it made my head look green. 949-298-2905. Let's take some questions here. Good morning. Here we go. Favorite keynote you've given recently? Whoa, there's so many. I don't know. I mean, they're blurred to me. I love them all. The most nervous one I've given was for my family in San Diego, and just having my aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and everybody there. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous, and it was fun though, because I usually don't get nervous anymore. Think and Grow Rich, love it. Thrive is another one I love. All the ones. I'm going to be down in Miami with the $100 million mastermind. All of those are great. Working our way through today. Was there a time when you had to start acting like the man, and how is it different than faking it till you making it? Well, first of all, there was plenty of years that I was faking it, but it was to appease my ego, not to necessarily faking it to making it. And then I realized that if I can enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, then working from there is very easy to create that transition. Why is it hard to coach family? Because you have so much snapshots, so much baggage, so much predetermined judgments and conditions. Coaching your family, remember, a coach is someone that brings out the best in people. And so there would be a interference, a void, a shortage in the more intimate the relationship is. It's like working with your wife is difficult because we have so many different snapshots to go ahead and accelerate in the wrong direction if things aren't going the way that they're supposed to be going. And in business, things don't go the way they're supposed to be going a lot of the time. So let's see here. So just stay focused, by the way, on your capabilities. You don't have to fake it, just illuminate it and ask for help. We talk about honoring people. What's the process is correctly honoring someone? When we honor people, we forgive them, number one. We're grateful for them, number two. And we live our lives and understand their lives as well. We appreciate the similarities and we learn to appreciate the differences. We honor someone by forgiving them. A lot of times we can honor by doing what someone else wants us to do that makes them happy, even though it may not be aligned with what we want to do. I keep those two incidences, small snapshots. I'm really not going to live my life doing something what someone else, even people who love me, want me to do. Podcast tips, yes. Present your frequency, know your spectrum, clarify and practice, and do it as much as possible, your podcast, and allow it to unravel, allow it to segment and exponentially grow. We got a minute. We'll bring on our guest here. Let me see. I'm afraid of responsibility at work, but I'm a good worker. Any advice? Well, first of all, fear. We need to identify what you're afraid of in that context of responsibility. And then you need to, as you realize, is it that you're not worthy, or is it that you're afraid you're going to fail? What is it that you're afraid of in that responsibility or activity that they've given you? And then what we want to do is stop. Don't try to resist it. And then figure out how you can get better at what you do and be a better worker. So, I'm looking for people that are better workers. Good workers is subjective. A better worker is someone that's improving and learning. Um, and so we want to stop, drop, and roll. All right. 8:05. Let's see who we got here. A girl like, there she go. Perfect. Okay. Founder of A Girl Like Me Art, Sheila Shekeen at A Girl Like Me Art. Pronounced Shekeen. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Beautiful. I yesterday for some reason I got on one of these things and nobody could hear me, so it's beautiful you could hear me.
Great.
Anyway, I'm so glad to have you on. Yeah, you are a former robotics engineer, which intrigues me immensely. And now you're more involved with art with a purpose.
Yep.
And your motto. Why don't you share your motto with everyone? I'd love for you to share that to start.
Yeah, so I built my business around something I believed in for quite a long time, and it is I believe that girls cannot be what they cannot see. So I intend on showing them. I believe girls and women can do anything, but they don't always know it because they haven't seen it, especially in their daily life. So,
I am 100% aligned with that. I tell people all the time. I call them milestones, and I've had some of world thought leaders, all types of different sizes, shapes, races, and sexes. I have 3 daughters of my own, and I'm always looking for milestone people in their lives because I think it's so much. I call it the 4-minute mile. I said if there wasn't the 4-minute mile, there's two things that happen when you have a milestone. If you have the wrong perspective, you'll create resistance like everyone did for the 4-minute mile. Doctors will come out and say, that's impossible. You can't do it. But the minute there's a person who's a milestone that does it, and I think Roger Bannister proved this to everyone. For hundreds of years, they were told human body could not run the mile in 4 minutes. And then when he broke it, within weeks, 3 people ran a 4-minute mile. I see the same thing with sizes, shapes, sexes, and races, that if we can see somebody that's done it, we can go past them. And,
sure.
that's the great thing about a milestone. It's not a stopping point. It's something that we can aim for to beat, right? And I have been around celebrities, athletes, entertainers, especially the athletes who know their records are meant to be beaten. Their record is a milestone for, young people to look to and say, I can do better than that. What is it that holds back women, different races, sizes, shapes? What is it that holds back the human being from doing what they actually have the potential to do?
Well, I can only talk from my perspective, and I just know that when I was back in my previous career, I worked in a very male-dominated world. So typically, I was the only female in the
You mean
room.
there's not a lot of
Um,
women robotic engineers?
Not back in the day, no. I'm not real sure how it ended up there, but I'm glad I did. I always tell people that it's like when a woman gets up in a conference room and starts to talk, it's almost like she has points deducted because she's a woman. And when a man walks in that same room and starts to talk, he gets points added because he's a man. So it's not just women, it's all kinds of people. If we don't fit the norm, it's almost like we have to climb up a lot further and fight obstacles that other people that are norm don't necessarily have to fight. So I think it's a huge help to have a piece of art on your wall that shows, hey, that girl's an astronaut. That lets me know that, hey, I can do that too. I can see it. And if I can see it every single day, that'll inspire me and motivate me and help me understand that I can conquer the world if that's what I want to do.
And there's a nuance to what you say, because I think what causes some of the resistance or separation between people is the idea, and coming from a white male that's my age and has been a participant in a systematic prejudice or this unfair there's equality and equanimity that exists, is that they always fall back on, yeah, but the opportunity's there. I believe that they discount, meaning the white middle-aged male discounts, because people like you have broken through and have become rocket scientists or robotic engineers, that, oh, well, the opportunity is there for everyone. And they discount that the key is opening the door. And I see this in African American or Black coaches. They never gave them the opportunity, and then there was like one, and once they started, opening the opportunities, all of a sudden over half of them are there. Now, I am the chief chancellor of Junior Achievement University. I'm an alumni of Junior Achievement. There wasn't one girl in my Junior Achievement class when I was 12 years old, in that group. Now over 50% are women. So I think it's important to distinguish why art, to me, is a door opener, because although it's possible for the anomaly to go ahead and buck the trend, and no one else has done it, and there are those great people out there, it's almost as if art, like you said, already opens the door because it's on the wall, it's materialized, and then people have in their subconscious and unconscious mind, oh, this is a norm. I feel comfortable, not uncomfortable, because I have a woman rocket engineer or a scientist or whatever, junior achievement person.
Yeah, and some people might say, well, that's just such an insignificant thing to have a coffee mug with an inspirational message on it. That's not going to change anyone. But I'm telling you, it does. I was one of those young girls that grew up and I didn't see role models of strong women in leadership positions, and I never saw a woman president, and I never saw a woman leading our local water department. And, it's like that still. And the people that say that we're equal, look on the House of Congress floor. If we were equal, you'd see 50% women, 50% men. Women make up 52% of the population. I think that's the right number now, and we're still not represented 50-50 in so many areas of the world. Have we made strides? Oh, you betcha we have. So many strides, but there's still a long way to go,
And how I'm doing a training this Friday on persistence blended with patience. And when we're talking about systematic changes, we're talking about lifetimes of changes, and things have changed in my lifetime exponentially, and they need more exponential change in my kids' lifetime. And what happens is we lose the momentum. And you see it today in other systematic problems that exist, that it's really a hot topic even for a month, but it soon dissipates and dissolves, and then we go back to slow incremental growth. How do we maintain the bigger growth, the more exponential growth, and speed up the process? Because it will take generations in order to create equality, because it's such a big issue. But how can we accelerate it?
Well, I think one of the things we can do is something that we just did a few months back: vote. Because voting really is the mechanism that we have to make large changes, in culture and policy and the things that really can impact the world. And aside from that, I think it's just people that have a burning desire to make change. You got to get out there every day and do it. Just start. Yeah, I'm a big believer in just start. Do something. Don't try to get it perfect. And I'm terrible about that. I try to polish that BB as much as possible before I introduce it to the world. But just start, and say it loud and clear as much as you can to as many people as possible, which is what I'm trying to do with my business. And that, I believe, starts the change. It's slower than voting, but it starts the change.
100% of the things you do now get done. And so just do it now. Last question. You talk about voting, and I'm a big proponent of getting out there and voicing your opinion. But I think even bigger than, like you said, voting for whatever policies or candidates that you think best represent what you want for you, is I think there's a bigger thing going on, especially for women, as I see, and I repeat for my daughters: vote for what you want. Like, forget voting politically. In your mind, don't vote for what's missing. Don't vote for, what you don't want, which is a big thing for all teenagers, I think, but especially girls. And then don't vote, even worse, because this is how we're going to cut the systematic change out. Don't vote for what other people want for you. I mean, my poor mom, to tell you, I have to share this because it'll resonate with you. My mom graduated top of her class from Ohio State and was a teacher, right? A teacher. And her friends, as she said, were all teachers and nurses. Very few did anything else than be teachers and nurses that she went to college with. That was the times, right? My mom's almost 80 years old. She said what really bugs her is that all the boys that cheated off of her in high school and college ended up being these executives, cheated off
Yes.
her, right? And
Yes.
so, and that's the mindset of voting for what other people want for you. You know, her parents told her, get married, have children. Thank goodness, that part.
That's
Right.
right.
But, you know, women are nurses and teachers, not doctors and CEOs. And it takes
Yeah,
people like you, art like yours, to make sure that we're reaffirming, hey, it's okay to vote for what you want. Don't vote for what's missing. Don't vote for what other people want. And don't vote what you don't want, because that's what you're going to get. And so I think
that's right.
voting is so important. What is your trick, your mindset when you have those negative voices of what you don't want, what other people want for you, and what's missing? How do you cancel that from your mindset and say, no, 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 I'm going to vote for what I want?
It's hard. I think everybody has those negative voices in their head. And this may seem a little crazy, but what I do is I talk to myself out loud. And so I'll be driving to on an errand or whatever, and I'll talk to myself, and you know, it's like, stop it. That's not the way it's going to be. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get up in the morning. You're going to do this, this, and this. So I just talk to myself constantly, and I also have, you know, girlfriends that, you know, we chat about things like that as well. But and then the final thing is I'm a high energy person. When I go out and do a long run or some hardcore gardening, just something physical, kind of frees up all those cobwebs in my mind. It gets the negative talk out, and it just makes me feel so much more powerful and open, you know? So that's what I do. I think everybody's different, right?
Yeah, well, I love it. I love power gardening. I think you should create a whole course
Yeah,
that's mental and a wellness course on power gardening. It has so many
right.
multiple aspects of goodness to it. Sheila, thank you so much. She Keen at A Girl Like Me Art. Where else can people find you? A girl like me art.com.
Yes, and I'm on Instagram at A Girl Like Me Art, and I'm in 30 shops across the U.S. and one shop in Canada, so I'm international. I'm pretty proud of that. So,
I'm
yeah.
proud too. And please reach out. Let's get more of Sheila's art out there to empower and inspire more women to achieve, to create their own milestones in their own lives. I certainly appreciate you as a father of 3 daughters. Thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you. It's good talking to you.
Nice talking to you, Sheila. Take care. Right
Okay.
on. I love her explanation of cancel, clear, connect. If you want to learn how to cancel, clear, connect negative thoughts, chatter, and what other people think, go ahead. I'll send you my book for free. I'll sign it, ship it, pay for shipping. David at dmeltzer.com. David at dmeltzer.com. You can text me to join my community right there, 949-298-2905. All right, we got a quick question from my friend. Here we go. Oops. Let me see. Wrong one. Here we go. Jesse, you are here, the CEO of Workforce, workforce.com at workforce, WRKFCFRCE. How are you, Jess?
I'm doing great, David. How are you doing?
Thank you for your patience. You got a question for me?
Yeah, so David, I'm Jesse Chambers. I'm the founder and CEO of Workforce, which is a digital media company dedicated to remote work. And so I'm really curious about the benefit of your experience. I know that you've, led huge companies, I'm assuming with big, beautiful, nice offices. But lately I see you having a huge impact from your beautiful home office in Southern California. And so my question for you is, what has been the best part about working remotely for you? And what advice would you give to, the tens of millions of people who find themselves working remote reactively during the pandemic?
Well, like anything else, when you have an accelerated change, I had been studying freelancers, being an entrepreneur myself, and I was prepared for over 50% of the workforce by 2027 to be freelancers and remote. So I was in the preparation of it. And what I learned, number one, through the remote working is how much waste there is. Where no matter what you do and what you teach and who you think you are, right? I love this saying, I don't know what I don't know. And I'm not afraid of being a hypocrite as one of my superpowers, right? I'm just not one of those guys. I illuminate the stupidity that I've had and the situational knowledge that I've gained. And I am telling you that I'm so blessed for the pandemic and the remote working, because I was under predetermined realities that were illusions. I
Yeah.
needed big office space. I needed to travel 200 days. I can tell you, I have a friend, Bruce Chambers, sorry, I have a friend, Bruce Chambers, but Bill Gamble, he begged me for years to use Zoom. Like every time he wanted to talk to me. And I was like, dude, I'm not using Zoom. Why would I use Zoom? I got a telephone if I want to talk to you. And if I want to use video, I have FaceTime. And I don't like to use video because I like to do my emails when I talk to people, right? Because I practice refocusing. So I think the biggest things that I've seen is an acceleration of what we didn't know. So in a business, if you got a bad restaurant, it's going to go under faster. If you have good restaurant, you can accelerate. I see restaurants that may gross less money, but net they're like up 50%. They're making more money. Wow. And I see transformation. I forget the name of it for restaurants that are doing like these satellite. They have like a one host kitchen, and they have like satellite restaurants that are really just delivery stop spots.
Like ghost kitchens. Yeah,
ghost kitchens. Yeah, thank you. So there's so many different things, but for me, it was me lying to myself how important, and I have a beautiful office in New York that opened in January, and it needless to say, very expensive. That I will, don't need. And then of course I actually sold. I owned my office building out here in California. I actually sold my office building because it just literally the efficiencies, effectiveness, and statistical success of remote working fit and suited my business so well that I didn't need that expense. And so that reformation, I think the great change for me, and everybody, drop your ego, ask yourself, what habitually or historically have I lied to myself about? And don't be afraid of being a hypocrite. The people that aren't always make more.
Yeah. That's fascinating. It's crazy to hear you've sold the office and made that change. And so I founded Workforce pre-pandemic. We founded the company in April of 2019, and so I was on that train with you. By 2025, more than 50%. And so it's been crazy to see this forced transition. But as you discuss and really illuminated perfectly, like the awakening, the realization that we can be so much more efficient if we have location independence.
Yeah, and I think this like I'm in my closet, right? So there's going to be convertible rooms. There's ghost offices, ghost kitchens, ghost studios. It's taking the WeWork model to a whole different level. And I have found one of the things I also wanted to do is I always love those guys like Tom Bilyeu and Dale Jensen, the owner of Arizona Diamondbacks, was one of the first guys to do it. Is they had a home that was an office. Right. So and there's so many uses, and the expenses are so much less than having a big office building. And not to say most people don't know this, so when you own an office building, there's like two different pay structures or price structures. You can get internet at your home, but you can get internet at the office, and for some reason, internet at the office is 10 times as much. You can get direct TV, right? You get direct TV at your home. It's 10 times as much at the office, and then you got all these parking issues and maintenance. It's ridiculous. So there's so many options for people to look at. I highly suggest that they look to you at Workforce, people that have I would say someone that's sitting in this situation or has the position that you want to be in, and ask them for directions. To me, that's what Workforce and the value of Workforce is hey, you want to get somewhere, find the people that are already there and ask them for directions. Fastest way, and Workforce is doing that. People can find you at Workforce, which is WRKFRCE.com, and the same spelling at Workforce on Instagram.
Exactly.
Where else can people find you?
LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere. Workforce with no O's, because we know that offices are optional, David.
It sure is, and it is for me, but my closet is not optional.
This is my Airstream, David. I live and work in an Airstream trailer. I've run this business for the last 2 years from 39 states in the U.S., so that's a atypical office environment too.
Well, come by my studio here in my closet. There's plenty of parking outside. We can co-work together with Workforce, all right?
Careful what you wish for, David. Thanks a lot, man.
Awesome, man. I'm wishing. Thank you. Awesome idea, Jeff. Take care.
Thanks so much.
Great idea. He's amazing. So yeah, we all don't be afraid of being a hypocrite. at Workforce. We pinned it up there as well. All right, let me answer a few questions as we move on and take on our last friend. I've learned a lot from you. Just wanted you to thank you. Oh, thank you, my friend. I learned a lot from all of you in doing this. These are one of the things that I'm not afraid of being a hypocrite about. Let's see here. I'm a student and I get distracted by a lot of people. How do I avoid that? Practice focus and refocus. Remember, you can only focus on one thing. And so what we want to do is realize how quickly can I focus and refocus. That allows me to bend time. What do I mean by that? That the speed of thought moves faster than the speed of light. That means that if you learn to refocus and work that muscle, that you can bend time because you can think faster than time can move. Therefore, it can appear as if you're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 things at one time. If you want to learn more about that, please email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'm happy to send that out. All right, my last friend coming on today, Zach Vines. Hopefully you're here as well. Appreciate everyone. I'm going to have to keep my time very well. I got to get to the studio, speaking of remote working. Zach, are you here? Jake, is Zach here? I'm looking for Zach Vines, co-founder of You Breathe Success, talking about freelance. These guys are packaging stuff together like you've never seen before. Zach.Vines. Zach, are you here, my friend? David Marino's here. Incredible. If you're not following David Marino, he's an amazing young entrepreneur, senior partner of one of the biggest law firms, first African-American, I think he's the only African-American partner, one of the largest in the world. So anyway, let me take a question, then we'll get going. If Zach's not here, I totally understand. So let me get this here. Maybe that's so bad, but it's funny. Biggest motivation every day. My what? Remember, motivation gets you up, gets you back up, gets you started, gets you back started. I am in Orange County, California, United States. Raul, thanks for asking. Biggest motivation every day is understanding and taking inventory of my values. So my what personally do I want to achieve? What experientially do I want to do? What giving do I want to produce? And what receiving do I want to allow to come through me? And that's the biggest motivation to get me up, get me started. Give you an example. I ran this morning. I spend a minimum of an hour a day on my health every day, but I didn't feel like it. You know, it was 4:30 and I didn't feel like it. And then I asked myself one question, taking inventory of my values. Have I ever worked out in my life and not felt better afterwards? And then I just asked myself, what do you want? I want to feel better. I want to feel good. Therefore, that motivated me to get off my butt and institute the law of Goya, which is get off my butt, get off my ass, and make it happen. Advice on scaling your team from 5 to 20. I utilize a 3-stage theory of scaling a business. If you want that exercise for free, I'm more than happy to give that to you. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. More than happy to give you that exercise on how to scale a business. Learning stage, execution stage, and equity stage. Shadowing, working with, allowing them, and supervising, letting them go to create the same 3-stage process. I have a document that can help you and everyone scale a business. My books are free. My exercises, my guides are free. All of those are free for you. So please go ahead and reach out, david@dmeltzer.com. Join my text community, 949-298-2905. If I see a comment there that's upsetting to me, seek professional help if you are not happy. So please get off the IG. If you're unhappy, go ahead and seek professional help. Call 800 number, talk to somebody. There's always good options. If you're depressed and anxious or frustrated, there's a brighter light. You'd be happy where you are, but seek help, professional help. Thank you. I saw that on there. I never take that as a joke. So I appreciate where you're at, but please go ahead, seek help. Here we go. Anyway, last question, then I got to go. How often do you tell yourself Goya? That's get off my ass. Anytime I don't feel like doing it, I tell myself, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. And I find the light, the love, and the lessons. And I say, I get to do this. I get to come on IG and get to help all these people, empowering people to empower other people, just simply to be happy, creating a collective consciousness of happiness, giving away my books, my exercises, my guides, my training of the blend this Friday. That's right, blending what confuses all of us, a counterintuitive approach to what? How to be persistent, but also how to be patient. How to have a vision and a goal, but how to allow it to happen. How to detach our emotions from the outcome and enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, not anybody else's potential. See how easy it is to get fired up, to tell yourself, I get to do this. You get to do this as well. Join me every day. That's not a problem. Join me on my trainings. Join me 6 a.m. on Clubhouse on Fridays for the Breakfast of Champions. That'll get you up, get you back up, get you started. I promise you, the Breakfast of Champions on Clubhouse, 6 a.m. You catch me there, 11 a.m. Pacific time. My trainings are always free. All you got to do is reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com or 949-298-2905. I will catch you tomorrow. Everyone, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thank you so much.